Today on Investigate TV Plus, a grandmother's trust shattered and thousands of dollars lost.
If it wasn't for my children helping me, I wouldn't be able to make it. It's heartbreaking, you know?
A stark warning about a growing scam and the steps you can take to help protect your loved ones.
Plus, exchanging idle time for education.
Instead of doing the same thing over and over, let's just train them while they're here.
How teaching trades gives inmates new hope and helps transform their communities.
We are rewriting every textbook that said, hey, this is the way you do things.
Then, from a humble front yard fixture to the bustling bleachers of major college sporting events.
He actually loved creating the flavor that we started with and that we still have today.
How a passion for lemonade and support from family inspired a business that's serving up success and smiles one sip at a time.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus. They prey on people through calls, text, emails, pop-up windows, and social media. Con artists trying to steal your money. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. In 2023, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center received a record number of fraud reports, more than 880,000 of them, with potential losses exceeding $12 billion. And in many cases, authorities say scammers are specifically targeting older Americans.
Perhaps you've experienced that stressful moment where a parent or grandparent shows you a message on their phone they think is legit, and you've had to gently explain to them it's a scam. But what else can help protect our elderly loved ones?
Reporter Heather Graff has an in-depth look and insight from experts on how to avoid becoming a victim.
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it, because it's not real.
It's a warning this mother and grandmother never thought she'd have to give.
Oh, my.
But as she scrolls through dozens of deceptive messages on her cell phone,
It's so much.
67-year-old Christine Hurd is motivated to speak out
It's a dark place.
and fight back against fraud.
To think that people out here, they can do things like that to someone and have no remorse.
It was July of 2023 when a woman she thought was a friend on Facebook reached out via DM and asked, "Have you heard about the Department of Health and Human Services grant yet?"
And she said to me to click onto a link. It's a link.
And so you recognize your friend's name.
I recognize my friend's name and her picture. And her picture comes with it.
Christine now knows it was likely a lookalike account created by scammers, the fake friend vouching for a, quote, special program for the elderly and retired, claiming she got $50,000 real cash when she applied, and you don't have to pay it back.
And I'm supposed to click onto the link to start applying for the grant.
That link then connected Christine to a man pretending to be a government agent who asked for a slew of personal information. And after that, he sent this certificate stating she'd been approved for a federal grant.
And the fee for applying for this was $100. And what they want you to pay for was through a card.
Through a gift card.
Gift card, yes.
Next, she was told she had to also pay processing fees to get the grant.
I mean, it had all kinds of stories they came up with.
And when it was all said and done, over the course of about 5 months, Christine had shelled out more than $11,000. All of it paid to the scammers through gift cards.
I'm devastated.
And of course, that phony government grant never existed.
I know financially I'm in a loophole. If it wasn't for my children helping me, I wouldn't be able to make it. It's heartbreaking, you know?
What happened to Christine is known as an impersonation scam, in which con artists pose as someone else to trick their victim. According to the FBI, it's one of the most common types of fraud impacting the elderly. Agency data shows that in 2023, Americans lost more than $1 billion to scammers pretending to be from the government or from tech or customer support. And about 58% of that money was taken from victims who were over 60.
I have no patience for that, and neither does anybody on our team.
Kevin Gallagher is a supervisory agent in the FBI's Washington field office and says that starting in 2022, they began partnering with authorities in India, where many of these scams originate.
To identify, dismantle, and prosecute those who are running call centers that are targeting, in particular, Americans.
And on the back end, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center has a recovery asset team that works with banks to try to quickly freeze funds in the event of fraudulent activity. In 2023, they reported successful holds on more than $500 million belonging to victims.
And the goal there is to freeze those funds before they go overseas and are unreachable.
But that can't happen if victims don't come forward.
These crimes are currently pretty underreported.
They're absolutely underreported. People feel a sense of shame when they've been victimized.
In fact, a recent AARP survey found that only about 15% of Americans actually contact law enforcement about incidents of fraud.
And we need to change that, honestly. We need to encourage people to report it.
Amy Knopfziger helps oversee the AARP's Fraud Watch network and believes families nationwide must also change the way we talk about scams with elderly loved ones.
Bring it up in a non-judgmental way. Say, oh my gosh, I just read this great article. What would you do, Mom, if you got a friend request from someone you didn't know, or you got a phone call from someone pretending to be your grandchild? What would you do? Almost role play it. And then if someone in your family does become a victim of a fraud or a scam, don't say, how could you? You were smarter than this. That puts all the blame on the victim when the blame needs to go on the criminal that stole the money.
Empathy and education that Christine now preaches as well.
I'll never be the same.
Reliving her own nightmare
I want the whole world to see it.
in hopes of sounding the alarm on scams.
It happens. So if it can happen to me, it can happen to you, it can happen to anybody.
In Christine's case, none of her money has been recovered thus far. And just to give you a sense of how brazen these impersonation scams can be, even the National Elder Fraud Hotline, managed by the U.S. Department of Justice, has received reports of scammers contacting people and claiming to be from the hotline. You can reach the real National Elder Fraud Hotline at the number on your screen.
And if you or someone you know has been targeted by a scammer, as you heard in Heather's story, the FBI urges you to report it. You can do so online. Just go to their Internet Crime Complaint Center at ic3.gov.
It's a threat we all face, skin cancer, and while treatment can often leave behind scars, there's a ray of hope for some patients. Coming up, the procedure being called a game changer.
But first, people getting a second chance that starts before their sentence ends.
A lot of the same struggles you have once you're released from jail and prison are the ones that sent you to jail and prison.
We examine a new approach that some call the key to breaking a pattern of crime.
Our in-depth coverage continues. You can get connected to Investigate TV Plus on all social media platforms.
The U.S. has the highest incarceration rate in the world, with nearly 2 million people in correctional facilities daily.
1 in 4 people released from jail are back in custody within the same year, and research finds people with multiple arrests are low income, less educated, and unemployed.
To help break this cycle of incarceration, a jail in Flint, Michigan decided to focus on inmate education. And a study conducted by Harvard found the approach is working. There's been a reduction in both misconduct within the jail and the likelihood an inmate will reoffend.
Reporter Kristen Crowley explains how the program is igniting new possibilities and sparking change nationwide.
In a place where the odds seem stacked against them, there's hope for those who have failed to break a pattern of crime.
I've been here 28 months.
Shakur Brewer is no stranger to the Genesee County Jail. Over the past decade, he's been arrested several times.
I never really took the time to think about things I like, my passion and what I feel like I'm good at.
But in the beginning of 2024, while awaiting trial, he got an opportunity to figure that out. He took financial fitness classes and learned how to cut hair, thanks to a jailhouse school system started by Sheriff Chris Swanson.
Instead of doing the same thing over and over, let's just train them while they're here.
During his years of service, Swanson says he's recognized the same people returning to jail shortly after being released.
They say, here you are, don't come back. It's impossible. So we decided to change the culture by building it onto, you do your homework, you can go out and play.
In the fall of 2020, Swanson launched IGNITE, an acronym for inmate growth naturally and intentionally through education. He says it operates within existing jail space at very little added cost. No matter the crime, inmates can enroll in tailored classes taught by educators from local schools and colleges. It's 5 days a week for 2 hours a day, with the goal of getting a diploma or GED. Inmates can also take courses teaching trades, such as masonry, plumbing, and welding, or they can work towards a commercial driver's license. There's even a certified barber school, all designed to help them find a job after release.
We've got a local manufacturer that has hired over 100 of the people right out of this jail.
Major Jason Gould says it's not just about learning practical skills. Ignite has also helped improve perception and trust in police.
Pat them on the back and say, you did a really good job. I'm proud of you for what you did. And you can see at first they're hesitant about that because by nature we're adversarial. But then they realize we're serious about it, that we are proud of them, and they want to do more.
For 2 years, researchers from Harvard studied Ignite's impact and found 1 month of program exposure reduced weekly jail misconduct by nearly 50%. A change Gould saw firsthand. He says the year before the program's launch in 2019, there were 360 assaults in the Genesee County Jail.
The year immediately after we launched Ignite, we had 7. So it's a big deal.
The Harvard study also found participation in Ignite reduced recidivism, the likelihood a convicted criminal will reoffend, by nearly 25%.
A lot of the same struggles you have once you're released from jail or prison are the ones that sent you to jail and prison.
Percy Glover helped develop Ignite's curriculum. He spent more than a decade of his life in prison, convicted of manslaughter for his role in a deadly shooting. But now, he's employed by the sheriff's office, mentoring inmates and encouraging them to take advantage of Ignite's resources and networking opportunities.
We are rewriting every textbook that said, hey, this is the way you do things.
And it's giving inmates like Shakur an education that can light the way to a brighter future.
As of right now, I just want to get a decent job when I get home.
Is there somebody here that you want to say hi to?
Honestly, y'all, let my son come here.
Here we go.
Harvard researchers say these results, including reduced recidivism and misconduct, as well as additional life skills for incarcerated people, add up to savings for society. The study estimates that 1 month of program exposure saves around $5,600 per inmate per year. Ignite is also spreading nationwide. The program has launched at jails in 12 states, and there are plans for upcoming Ignite sites in 6 additional states.
Still ahead, an in-depth look at a painless procedure with promising results.
How a patient beats skin cancer without going under the knife.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime streaming online. Get the app for Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. They're free to download.
The CDC reports skin cancer is the most common type in the U.S., and while it's usually treatable, patients are often left with scars.
Reporter Carrie Beal has insight into a treatment option that claims to zap cancer cells without leaving a permanent mark.
Because I'm outdoors all the time.
Like many of us, Peyton Howell says he probably spent too much time in the sun. When he went in for an annual checkup, his doctor noticed a spot on his nose.
I did not have an idea, so that's another reason, go see your dermatologist.
After testing, Dr. Elizabeth Dunleavy determined he had basal cell carcinoma.
Oh, good to see you.
But instead of surgery, the common treatment, she recommended a type of radiation called image-guided SRT.
It uses a low-energy X-ray that only penetrates a certain depth into the skin. So the importance of that is you're not damaging surrounding tissues, you're not damaging deeper structures like you can do with the external beam radiation, which is different.
This is why patients usually don't have scarring, but it's only for people with basal or squamous cell skin cancers.
And you need to have a cancer that is actually of a depth that this technology will penetrate to the level of the tumor. If it's bigger and deeper than what this can reach, it's not the best treatment.
Radiation therapist Michelle Padilla gave a demonstration of how it works. First, they use an ultrasound to precisely identify where the cancer is.
Skin is clear,
The skin is clear. She has nothing there. The top layer of her skin, beautiful, colorful cells, right?
Then they administer the radiation.
So this would just rest right on that.
No pain during that time. There's no, there's no after effects. So it's really a very, very simple procedure.
The procedure involves 20 sessions.
You actually sit down in this chair and you're here probably less than 10 or 12 minutes.
And Howell says he did have to wear a Band-Aid on his nose for a few weeks, but the end result was worth it.
And where that cancer was here, it's filled in with new normal cells.
A study on the procedure showed a 99% cure rate.
You get through that and wear a little humility there, but it's, to me, it was so much worth it to be able to come back and literally my results were fantastic. Literally no more cancer on my nose.
Dr. Dunleavy says this procedure is not ideal for people who have had radiation to the same area in the past. A patient cannot have hair on this spot, so this includes a beard or a mustache. Anyone who has a sun sensitivity may not be ideal for the procedure either. In Greenville, South Carolina, I'm Carrie Beal.
Up next, a young entrepreneur turns a simple lemonade stand into a local sensation, proving that with family support, autism is no barrier to sweet success.
It's inspirational to other parents that have a child that has autism. They can be whatever they set their minds to be as well.
You can watch Investigate TV Plus anytime online. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel at Investigate TV. You can catch stories and full episodes. More people than ever before are being diagnosed with autism, and the CDC finds it affects about 1 in 36 children, with boys being 4 times more likely to be identified as having autism.
To help spread awareness, one family in Baton Rouge, Louisiana is serving up a sweet treat. And it all started years ago with a little front yard lemonade stand.
Meet Leroy and his lip-smacking lemonade business that's blossomed into something much bigger.
Gotta put your gear on.
Get your back.
From applying the labels,
All right, let's get it.
to filling the bottles with sweet golden goodness,
Good job. Uh-oh.
Leroy's Lip-Smackin' Lemonade is a family business.
Let's make your gallon.
And 17-year-old Leroy Hayward is at the center of the operation.
Leroy, what's the name of your lemonade stand?
The Haywards have been in business for over a decade.
Take it to the cooler.
It all started as a mission to bring Leroy, who is living with autism, out of his shell.
We set up a lemonade stand in our front yard, and Leroy loved it. He actually loved creating the flavor that we started with and that we still have today. Remember, smooth it out.
An award-winning recipe that's helped to raise hundreds of dollars for children's health care through lemonade sales.
We took our money to Children's Hospital because we wanted to give back to somebody who had helped Leroy. And Children's helped us find his autism. You'll get the lemonade to the door.
What the Haywards have also found along their journey is a sense of community.
So take it to Mr. Cliff.
As Leroy's Lip-Smackin' Lemonade is sought after by countless local stores.
They moved it over here. Look, right here.
Leroy looks forward to making the deliveries in person. He brings in the bottles.
Let's put it in your cooler. Come on.
And stocks the empty coolers by hand.
Well, that'll be gone in a couple of days. That sells pretty fast.
Grocery store owner Cliff Bolden formed a bond with Leroy.
Yeah, I'll help him.
As many of his employees also have special needs.
We've been selling for about 3 years, and it's local, which is always good. You know, keeping the local people going, just like myself, we're a local small business.
But Leroy had even bigger dreams. Louisiana State University. After a convincing email from Mom, an invitation to set up shop on LSU's campus.
And I was like, oh my God. Yes. What size would you like?
Leroy's Lip-Smackin' Lemonade is now a fan favorite at Tiger Stadium, the Pete Maravich Center, and Alec Box.
One more coming up.
It's the best lemonade I've ever had.
A delight on opening day.
Give it more.
I think I'll be coming back.
A liquid gold crowd pleaser.
They say once you smack, you come back.
I'm a lemonade person and it's just my favorite.
Super sweet and served up with a smile.
Glad you like it.
It's initially lemonade, but the smiles is a nice bonus.
I definitely did smack after drinking it. It was that good. I will be getting another cup after I finish this one.
The kind of support that has this little family overflowing with gratitude.
Thank you. Enjoy the lip smacking.
How grateful are you to have found this purpose for your son?
Oh my God. I can't even describe how we feel about what this business has done.
Proving that despite life's challenges, you can find success, even in something as simple as lemonade.
It's inspirational to other parents that have a child that has autism, that they can be an entrepreneur. They can be whatever they set their minds to be as well. They can't get left behind.
All right, Leroy, fist pump.
God is just really good, and we love it.
Leroy's Lip Smackin' Lemonade is growing so quickly that the Haywards say they need a bigger manufacturing space to meet the demand for their product. And I got an opportunity to try it, and it is so good. Very sweet and refreshing.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
And look, the lines at the events, and that's a big deal, getting into like a major, college football, basketball, or baseball event, selling there, that's a big deal.
And they let Leroy lead the way. He enjoyed doing it, and they just let it get bigger and bigger, and here we are.
Impressive kid, for sure.
Well, that's it for Investigate TV Plus. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching.
On the next Investigate TV Plus, a mother who nearly lost her daughter pushes for a ban on water beads.
It's even hard to get into because, my daughter was dying in front of me.
Plus, see what we uncovered with online sales after many major retailers agreed to pull water beads marketed for kids.